this is really fucked up, but what if as a torture, you took a hippo and you cut its arms and legs off, all right?
Wow.
So that it couldn't crawl, but it would just like flex across the room and stuff, and then you trap somebody in a room with that hippo. That would be like the only chance you could survive.
Okay, so this is your pitch for the new Saw movie, where
Only
it's
one
based
of us
off
in
of
this
That would be
conversation
a
has a
crazy
baby in the
trailer.
house.
It's based off of board games, like Hungry Hungry Hippos is real, with dismembered hippos. There's Break the
Hippos.
Ice, where
Dismembered
people
hippos.
fall into the ice and die. And then Mousetrap is just basically the same thing.
Episode 384 of the TV Dudes, recorded May 11th, 2022. My New Weird Friends. This week, we're talking about our new weird friends who may or may not be from outer space. Maybe they're aliens from a water-starved planet like in The Man Who Fell to Earth on Showtime. Maybe they're an oddly familiar warlike set of aliens like on the premiere of Star Trek Strange New Worlds on Paramount+. Or maybe it's a possibly demonic baby like in The Baby on HBO Max. But before we get to all that, I'm Randy.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Nick.
And we're the TV Dudes. Les is once again not with us. He's out of town for a couple of weeks. And Kyle mistakenly watched some homework from next week. So Nick and I will be the only ones weighing in on a couple of shows this week, but we're all going to talk about The Baby, and I'm curious to see where we all land on that. I know where Nick lands on that because Nick loves kids being killed and kids killing things.
Oh, sure.
And it's like basically it's like the Marvel Universe for.
Well, thankfully, Kyle reminds me of The Baby. Okay, no, what baby? Okay, no Labyrinth fans. Whatever. Okay.
Nope, not doing
Wait.
it.
Set up and we whiffed it. Whatever.
Labyrinth? No.
Let's just go. I'm over it.
I was trying to riff.
All right, no time for riffing. Let's talk about our TV diaries.
The Diaries of the Television Dudes. Brought to you by only the finest cocaine wine.
Kyle, what'd you watch this week?
So yeah, preview for next week. I guess I'm not going to talk about any of these shows, but lots of surprises. I had no clue what Girls 5 Eva was.
I'm very jealous that you got to experience that for the first time.
No, I'm insanely excited that there's a season 1 that I get to go through.
Yeah.
Because I just started with season 2, and we'll talk about it next week. But that was definitely something that I did not jump out, even though you and Les have talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah, it is like it's after you get through 30 Rock and Kimmy Schmidt, it's like that's the next show in the same iteration. Yeah,
it definitely gives me those vibes.
Yeah, a lot of the same creators, I think, and I want to say Tina Fey's husband is the music supervisor. It's just like he was on 30 Rock and Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, interesting. So then I watched Hax Season 1, which another show that I've been sleeping on and was just really impressed with.
It's really good, right?
Yeah, like I don't know, it's kind of like what the Entourage did for me without the douchey. I mean, there is douchiness in this
different.
show.
It's a different brand. I get that.
But it's not about like the douche isn't the main character who gets to win at the end of every story arc, you know?
Man, I would definitely not tell the creators of that if you think it's a female entourage to their faces. I think they might. I think they might take that personally.
I would definitely tell them that. You should tell them that. And I should have a camera there when that happens.
For sure.
To clarify, I don't think it's a female entourage, but I think that there was stuff about Entourage, kind of like people who like Hollywood. Like Entourage was set in Hollywood, and they're trying to make movies happen and stuff.
I do hate that Entourage is our go-to example for that, though. There's got to be other shows that do that, and yet Entourage is the one we go to all the time.
What was that Ryan Murphy show that was like doing that, but as a period piece?
Hollywood.
Yeah,
Hollywood. It was literally just called Hollywood.
It's just called Hollywood. Yep.
You know?
Maybe it's because Hollywood thinks that's more interesting than it is.
Yeah.
True. Well, aside Benedict Cumberbatch on SNL this week, did you guys watch any of that?
Nope.
You know what? I was gonna say it was pretty good, but now I'm trying to remember any of the skits, and I'm coming up with some blanks. So it's like, it's
Wow,
gonna be
it's like
hard to
everyone I've
defend
talked
it.
to that has watched SNL over the past 10 years. And you wonder why anytime you ask me if I've watched an SNL, take a guess and say I have not. And that I've watched the one sketch out of the like maybe 2 years that anyone tells me that's a funny one, you should watch it.
Mhm.
1 out of 2 years is their batting average now.
I went down a rabbit hole this week and watched a bunch of the digital shorts that
Oh yeah.
and
I've watched
and
Tom Hanks's Black Jeopardy and then Paul of Pumpkins or whatever. Like those are the last ones I've watched.
David S. Pumpkins, sir. Show
David
some
S.
respect.
Pumpkins.
Yeah, I really liked going down the digital rabbit hole of like these are digital shorts from like probably 10 years ago now, but I still love all of that. But yeah, Saturday Night Live just not my thing.
Well, sure, you
Anyway.
can go back and go do all the Lonely Island stuff like Andy Samberg and all his music videos and stuff. Those are all pretty
Oh
fun.
yeah.
Dick in a box. I threw it on the
Yeah,
ground.
That's-
Yeah.
I'm on a
yeah.
boat.
I also have really fun memories of like the early days of viral videos when those came out. Before everybody kind of had a viral video marketing strategy for their, late night show or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The last thing, something you guys don't care about, but I think out of all the sports, it's got the best story. But F1 was in Miami this week. This year, the U.S. hosted 2 races. Austin will be in the fall, but yeah, they turned like part of Miami into a street circuit. Like at one point, they literally drive under the interstate, but they built this custom built thing around the Dolphin Stadium. And it brought in a shitload of money into Miami.
Is this like a shitload of money, like an actual economic boost, or like that thing I saw on John Oliver where they build a soccer stadium somewhere and then use it once and then it falls into dilapidated like fucking and FIFA's the only one that makes any money.
So this is different from that in the sense that, well, with our racetrack, Miami in particular, they made so much money that it's already down. They've already taken it down because the Dolphins are going to play there, so they can't like leave the racetrack up around. But yeah, they essentially put this thing up over 2 weeks and then just tear it all down.
The immediate sign of a moneymaker, immediately removing it.
But just to give you a context of how expensive it is to attend, if you wanted to be in one of the clubs where you get like free food and drink and watch the race, the tickets start at $3,000 a person.
Good Lord.
That's for Austin. Miami was probably way more expensive than that. They go up to $6,000 a person. It was $1,200 for 2.
And you're saying people pay this money to go watch cars go in a
yeah.
circle.
Yeah. Well, here's how I could justify the economics of it. Take like football or basketball or even baseball. You buy season tickets.
Kyle, can we skip to the part where you convinced me and pretend I didn't ask? I should have taken your word on it for the immediate thing you said. Another thing you guys don't care about. I didn't trust you. That's my fault.
I can sum it up with it costs less than season tickets for something else, and this is the only event they'll have in Miami for the entire year. So maybe that justifies why you would pay thousands of dollars.
No, it does not.
Still, there's a certain threshold where like that knocks out student loans of mine.
I'd rather. How much does it pay to get into the watching zone for the snake catching competition? How much is that? Is there like box seats for watching people kill snakes?
It's free, but you might catch a snake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you're in the first 3 rows, you will get venomed.
That still might be worth it. Well, how much is anti-venom?
Anti-venom is $3,000 actually.
Shit. Man, it's a horse apiece there. That's a
it's I mean the tickets are free, but the anti-venom is where they get
you. So it's really like you're rolling the dice on that one.
Yeah, it is. Look, I'm not going to judge anyone for spending a ton of money for the things they love. I'm not going to tell you guys how much money I spent to go to San Diego Comic-Con back once upon a time. So people should spend their money how they want to spend their money. All right, Kyle, that's your report for the week.
Yep.
Nick, what about you?
That's a wrap.
What weird ass movies did you watch this week? Without less to back you up, I feel like you may have not watched as many weird movies.
We are like a perpetual motion engine of movie watchers of like, have you seen this thing? No, well, let's watch it immediately without any context, watching a trailer or seeing any reviews on it, sight unseen.
Yeah, it's like a couple in a suicide pact.
Wow, dark, but accurate.
I know what I'm about, son.
The worst part about how accurate it is. But so I only watched Drive Through, which was a movie about a killer drive-through mascot, like a killer Ronald McDonald.
I swear, I mean that's better. I swear to God, I thought you were going to tell me it was a drive-through theater that killed people, like the Mangler or the Deathbed.
Oh no, that one I'm saving for less. That's one that is actually called The Last Drive-In. But that one has the guy from Trial and Error, Nicholas DeCasco.
Oh, yeah.
I forget his last name, but he from Trial and Error, and he's one of the main like male like love interest in that. And I thought like, oh my god, look at you! You're in like in a movie, like and everything. Good for you. You always like to see the younger, like a youngin, like, what is that, Ryan Gosling? Are you young Hercules? Oh, look at you, you little youngin. So that's always fun. I watched Star Trek Lower Decks some more because anytime I watch anything Star Trek related, I always go, I want to watch some Star Trek. And then I go, wait, I only really want to watch Star Trek Next Generation. And then I watch some Next Generation and I go, no. What I really want to watch is Lower Decks. Never mind.
Now, wait a minute, Nick, have you watched the Orville?
Yes, I have. I actually like the Orville.
Okay, I was gonna say the Orville is very much that modern next gen.
Yeah.
If you want that next gen to hit, I feel like it does it really well.
It's actually very much like Next Generation, but kind of with a Lower Decks of like we're very much in love with this concept and recognize it's kind of silly.
Yeah, it's next gen if next gen realized how silly it is, but still loved itself.
With Seth MacFarlane, I'm so used to his like fucking acerbic, cynical style humor, but he loves Star Trek. He loves it.
Loves
so
Star
like,
Trek. It's very clear, but he also is aware that it's dumb sometimes.
Oh yeah. But you can feel his love for it. Of like he wanted to make his own Star Trek show and just couldn't get the rights. Yeah, I think the Orville is actually didn't that get canceled?
It's got one more season. The last season's coming soon. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
I wanted it to get the one more. I was afraid it was with the pandemic and everything. I was wondering what the production was like.
It had a crazy season 2 cliffhanger.
It did.
Oh yeah.
There's been big delays, but it is finally coming out soon. It's on our watch. I think, like a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's early June.
Great,
nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
We got some coming.
I watched The Equalizer 2, Battle Los Angeles, because I was like, what other movies can I watch where aliens want to invade for water, except for all of them?
So you went for Battle for Los Angeles. You didn't jump back to like Alien Nation or something better. Why didn't you just watch the Battleship movie, Nick?
Oh wow, because that one's even worse. Dude, I actually have a respect for Battle Los Angeles in the fact that, wow, if only this movie was good, because
there's like a big story behind it. Isn't that the one that takes place like mostly in the apartment?
No, that one's the shitty one, Skyline.
Ah, yeah.
That one's the even shittier one that they got in trouble for because of the production team funneled some money that might have been for Battle Los Angeles into Skyline. Or something like that. I forgot exactly what the conflict was, but Battle Los Angeles is the only movie I've seen where it has a tactical, like a germ doesn't kill the aliens, or like some sort of Deus Ex Machina, like a tactical military solution is used.
Do the guys from Entourage go out there and douche them to death?
No, it's something like taking out their communications hub or like something so that air support, and like it actually has like a tactical, like we're not going to wipe them all out Independence Day style, like we're just tipping over the battle so that we're learning how to fight them, and then the movie goes on like, okay, and now we finally have a shot at fighting these things tactically, but not. And I was like, wow, that's a really good aspect I wish another movie would use, with like.
What about Red Dawn? Been a while, but did they win at the end, or was it kind of like?
No, they win. Well, they win. They're like, oh, fuck, we finally know how to, like, fight these, like, take out their air support, which was the thing that was fucking us. So now we have a better, like, at least we have a shot. Like, that's how the movie ends of, like, hey, we're going to go out and give it our all and good gung ho, join the army. I think I don't know. It felt hoorah. I'm pretty sure it had to be pro-military because they get a lot of military stuff, and it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't get the access to all that military hardware without the military signing off on your movie going, yeah, that's all good. I call it the Michael
now
Bay
with
deal.
CG, like CG kind of blows all that out of the water. It's so easy to make that stuff look real now.
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously they didn't spend it on the aliens because the aliens look like complete shit. Like, I still don't know what they are technically. Like, why are you fighting what looks like sentient garbage? But then, yeah, I watched a couple more. The first episode of Girls 5 Ever as it came back. That was awesome. And then I watched something called Soldados o Zombies, which is Spanish for soldiers or zombies, which is a zombie show, bilingual zombie show in Spanish and in like half in Spanish, half in English, basically.
No zombie? Wow. They don't speak zombie?
Well, the zombies actually speak a little Spanish.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Or they're subtitling the zombie language the exact same as Spanish. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't know, but I think some of the growls sound like Spanish. What's Spanish for brains?
El Branos. I won't swear to that, but I think that's close.
El Branos. That sounds like a great zombie cereal, actually.
It does. El Branos are delicious. You pour in some spinal fluid on it. Delicious.
All
Eat
part
your
of
brains.
balanced breakfast.
Kids, eat your brains. There are zombies starving in Africa.
4 out of 5 dead moms agree.
It's a hat that's a cereal bowl, and then they put it and you eat it from your head.
Yes.
It's kids, eat your brains.
Look, we're okay. Never mind the TV dudes, guys. We have a new idea. We're putting the Patreon money in, and it's Eat Your Brain cereal.
Oh yeah,
that comes in a hat. Yeah, this is $1 million idea.
And then we'll do Eat Your Guts, and it'll be like a belly band.
And then for the adults, Eat Your Ass.
that's our adult line.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's for the grown-ups.
I'd eat some ass.
Wow, you're just gonna put that all in the audio for me to edit how I please. Brave move, Kyle.
I was gonna say
Sound
what
bite me.
that's that clip is going out of context immediately.
Get that on the soundboard.
I'm gonna put that in my special file.
That's your TV diaries for the week, Nick?
That is.
All right, so I watched a few more episodes of Seinfeld. Season 8 is really good. Every episode is a classic. Watched one of the 2 remaining Better Call Sauls. There's another one I need to watch probably after we finish recording this. We're in season 6. Shit is going down. I don't want to say too much, but somebody dead now. And
I hope it's not Nacho. Did Nacho die? I've been really rooting for that guy.
I'm not saying who it is. It was somebody.
Oh man,
it was brutal.
Are they on the press tour?
I watched the latest Atlanta, which was I think back to it was a Paperboy and oh man, what the hell's Keith Stanfield's character's name? His character.
Oh yeah, why can't I think of it?
Yeah, the 2 of them go to a cafe in Amsterdam, get some drugs, and then Paperboy has a trip. And
I think that might be good for Lakeith Stanfield's career, that we don't know him as his Atlanta character's name, and that we know him as Lakeith Stanfield.
Yep.
Well, before this, he was the guy from Get Out.
Yeah, I mean that guy's had every role he's been in. He's been great. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie he was in that was Thank You For or Sorry to Bother You.
Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah, he's great. He's
Is
great
it
in everything.
good?
And he's great in Knives Out. It's a totally different role, but he's great in that too.
Oh, sure.
Always good. Anyway, Barry season 3 episode 3, super fucking dark, really entertaining. Really loving what they're doing this season. The season finale of Julia, which I thought was fantastic. I'm glad it got a season 2. Season finale of Picard, which I thought, despite the season 2 being up and down, I thought season finale was actually really, really good. Had some great moments, and I'm sure y'all have seen the spoilers about who came back for it. If not, I won't spoil it here. But it was a really nice moment.
I actually haven't, but then I don't think I'm going to go finish Picard. So
yeah, I really dug the season finale was great. I thought it put a nice little bow on the Q and Picard relationship, and like I say, there's a character they bring back from Next Gen that I thought was really well done. Latest episode of Halo, which I'm still really digging. Went out to the movies and saw Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, which Kyle and I are going. Kyle went with me, and we're going to talk
Yeah.
about that on the Patreon this week. While there, they showed us like a 5-minute sequence of Top Gun Maverick. It's like a big dogfighting sequence with Top Gun. It's with Top Gun with Tom Cruise as the instructor, and they introduced you all the new characters, and it was super fun. And it made me want to watch Top Gun, so I did. I found Top Gun on Netflix and rewatched it, which I don't think I've seen it since I saw it in the theater.
Mhm.
And yeah, that shit's Navy propaganda, but it's fucking good. It's a good movie. It's a Tony Scott movie. I mean,
Oh,
it was
sure.
entertaining.
Yeah, it's also, and unironically, I know it's a joke now, but a very romantic gay love story.
Oh yes, absolutely, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
even
it's-
before,
I
even
think-
before you get to the volleyball scene just kind of cements stuff. Like
yeah, I really think he and Iceman are going to make it. I think they're going to be very happy together.
I mean, that's what I hope.
Look, all I'm going to say is this: Kelly McGillis is not in the sequel, but Val Kilmer is. So
Yeah.
we know who he winds up with. I'm just saying. Last week tonight, watched the latest episode of that, which as always was this was post Roe v. Wade overturn. Not that it's officially happened yet. We all know where it's going, and that was, of course, really hard to watch, but also very much needed. John
Yeah,
almost
that
put
was
the
one of
entire
his
show
jokes,
on
I
it.
think, of like when
Yeah.
the main crime is like, oh well, who leaked this information? That's the main
Yeah.
thing. All the
Yeah,
Republicans are like, that's what we really need to punish is who leaked this decision we fully agree with. Like what?
Yeah. I watched all of Undone Season 2. I had meant to save it, but then I started watching it and just burned through it. It's really good. That's the one that's like sort of Richard. It's animated over the top of live actors.
Yeah. Kind
I
of looks
really-
like that Keanu Reeves movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think what the name of it
Scanner
was.
Darkling.
Scanner Darkly, yeah. It's got sort of that tech, but much improved. Like it
Yeah.
looks great. And Bob Odenkirk is a major player in it, and it's a good second season. Watch the all of season 2 of Girls 5 Eva, which that again I was gonna parcel that out, but I couldn't stop watching it. Watched Made
I
for
thought
Love.
there was only the first 3
No,
available.
all of it's available, isn't it? I thought it was all of it.
for season 2.
Oh, I
Yeah,
only
'cause
saw 3 for, but I didn't
Oh,
catch
maybe
up
it was.
on it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It was 3. That's right. I was like, why do I think I watched 8 episodes? It's because I switched Undone and Girls 5 Eva. That's why. That's where my. So yeah, I did. I watched the 3 that were available.
Well, man,
But again,
Randy was so in album mode that he just couldn't.
that's right. That's right. I'm in album mode. I watched the next 2 episodes of Made for Love, which really enjoying. I'm glad they're dropping that 2 a week, and then the homework, and that is it for me. This probably is a good time to remind y'all that you can go over to patreon.com/tvdudes, throw us $1 an episode. In exchange, we get to keep up with our streaming services, pay for our hosting costs, and you get bonus content each week. This week, we're talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. We also have our $20 shorter level, so if there are shows you want us to throw in rotation, you can buy into that level, give us a couple of ideas. We actually have stuff in the hopper. It just keeps getting scooted because there's so much to watch right now, but we are on top of it. We are going to get that into this year's watching.
What are you talking about? Randy isn't avoiding watching the anime you've assigned him.
You don't think it's
Leave
not even
alone.
all anime? One of them's a Crackle show.
Oh wow, that's better.
Yeah.
That inspires me to go out and dust off my Crackle subscription. I don't think this computer even remembers the Crackle login. It might have been like 2 computers back.
All right, let's talk about this week's shows. Let's start with The Baby over on HBO Max, which I think are the
What
3
baby?
episodes of this so far. The Baby, your baby. You have
The
a
one with
baby,
the power?
Nick.
I will make this joke work. God damn it.
No, it's not that baby.
But this baby does have a power.
This baby does have a power, and it's evil. There's 3 episodes of this, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I
Yes.
watched 2, and I don't think this is for me, but I think both you guys liked it more than me. I know, Nick, you did. Kyle, what did you think of this?
No, in terms of, it's like, is it a show for me? Probably not. Do I like that they make shows like this? And is this a good version of, kind of a creepy show about like an evil baby? I got to give it check marks in all the right boxes there. And it definitely, yeah, like I like it. I don't know if I'd go out of my way to check it out if it wasn't for this. but yeah, like it's kind of a fun horror romp.
I love Kyle's qualified, like, well, if I were into baby murder, I'm not saying I am, but if I was a freak like Nick, I would say this probably would work for me.
Yep, you about summed it up.
All right, Nick, tell us your freak opinion.
Guys, this show rules. Me and I know Les texting me back from what little he's watched. He's very much into it too. But we both are very fuck kids, like in our mind mentality, and yeah, as the non-fathers of the group, I guess. Maybe it speaks to us and our inherent fear of commitment and children, and making that into an actual horror show is fucking awesome, because the horror of it even gets worse and existential later when she takes the baby home. Eventually the baby starts to rewrite reality to where everyone thinks this has been her baby forever. Like, this is just hers. It's always been her baby. And like, that's, for me, my stomach dropped. I was like, that's the scariest part of this. Not any murderous baby. The fact that I can't get rid of this baby and it's rewritten history to where I've always had a baby. That's the part that really speaks to me and terrifies me to my core.
Can I also add a bit of clarification for the listeners? This is a show about baby murder, but it's the baby who's murdering other people. It's not about babies that are getting murdered, which tends to be what
it's about
most
a baby murderer,
shows.
not baby murder.
Right.
Yeah.
The baby
Somebody
does
said
murder.
Chucky, too old for me.
The baby murders a dog, though.
Oh yeah, very violently and with no room for interpretation.
No.
They up until then, you're like, maybe the baby's cursed and can't control it. Then they put the ball in the baby's hands, have the baby throw it into the street, look directly at the main character, and laugh like a psychopath after the dog gets hit with the truck. Like, oh my god, this baby is malicious.
That shouldn't be funny.
It is hilarious though. Fucking
everything's funnier with a baby.
Bruv, no.
Man, I wanted to like this. The concept sounded weird and funny, but I'm not feeling this. I did not find it funny at all. I didn't find it even like darkly horrific. I was just like, okay, I get it. I get where you're going.
Now you're over your fear of children though. Like you've had one or two of them or whatever, right? I know you're always talking about these smaller humans you popped out for some reason.
Here's a better version of the show, in my opinion. Or a different version. Like I said, this isn't nothing wrong with it.
No, throw some shade, Kyle. Throw some shade.
If I'm going to get shady, I would love a show where I'm relating from the male point of view, but you could easily make it a female point of view. But no, like you have a baby and then you feel like there's all this commitment that goes with that. Like, you're going to lose some of your autonomy, some of your, things you've been given as an adult. Like the ability to just go out and do whatever you want. Now you have to take care of this baby. Like a horror movie where the parent slowly becomes the baby. And it ends with like the parent trapped in the baby's body, swaddled in the crib, can't talk, and then the baby's walking off with their grown-up body, getting to hang out. Yeah, right?
That went into a different direction than I thought. That explains a lot about Kyle's mindset to me.
Because it's all about like what you lose. I mean, no, it's all about what you get. But if you wanted to make a horror version,
Randy, we gotta stop swaddling him in the middle of the night. He can't handle it. Or whatever we did last week.
Being restrained is like a fear of mine. Like, like putting a straitjacket would give me anxiety to no end.
See, because I think this show covers the loss of autonomy pretty well, because she's having a conversation with her friend, and it covers the anxiety you have when you're a friend that is friends with someone that like have babies, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, like, and she's obviously invited them over to her place, like, oh, we can still hang out with a baby even though that's not fucking possible. And if you have done that, yes, you are an asshole. And because it's like, oh, I'm sorry, you weren't listening to my conversation. You're just here so that you're not as lonely while you're taking care of a baby. We're not hanging out. Like this.
Yeah.
And she says the thing that I always would love to say without feeling like an asshole. Of like, okay, I guess, oh, you're having a baby? Great. I'll see you within the next 3 years. We'll catch up then. We'll go have a beer or something. And for her having that, being thrust with the responsibility of the baby, and I like to feel like the baby is like this old one that has chosen this disguise of like, fucking demons that are possessing houses. What idiots. You know what no zoning board has ever destroyed? A baby. Because it really takes, like, the only chance for you to survive this baby is to shove down all your moral instincts, walk into the room, and shoot that baby in the face. And it's counting on you not being able to do that, because this baby kills quick up until it decides you're its, like, vehicle that it's getting around in, I guess.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, like, I haven't, like I said, I only watched the first 2 episodes. I haven't gone further. They haven't given any hints as to what the baby is, right? It just
from where I've watched, she's run into an old woman that is kind of like, this baby doesn't age. She's gone through like a bunch of pictures on the internet and through a whole thing of like previous people that have had this baby, and the baby never ages in any of these pictures. So this baby is eternally a baby.
The thing is, like, I've had babies. Kyle has a baby right now, and Kyle, I think you'd back me up on this. If babies could kill you, they would. Babies are sociopaths. Like
they don't know better.
They do not give a shit about anything but what makes them happy.
Maybe some demon just gave a baby the ability to be a murderer.
That's all I'm saying. It may not be a demon. It might just be a fucking baby.
It's just a baby. See, I love that Randy is like, well, as the father, let me tell you that this thing is evil and definitely don't trust it. The only thing keeping your babies from killing you is the ability to do so.
The ability to do it. Look, anyone who's ever seen a baby or toddler react to a pet giving attention from the parent knows that kids do not like sharing attention. They do not like shit. Like if it decides you're its mom, then yeah, that's it. No one else gets to touch. Like that baby would kill your husband. Would kill.
I'm sorry, are you paying attention to that dog? Well, let me just take care of that.
Yeah. It's an interesting story to be
for
telling.
Randy's future children. Hey, Randy loves you, and is definitely afraid of you. I bet.
You remind me of the babe. Babe with the power of voodoo. You do. Remind me of the babe. Quiet. A goblin babe. Well.
All right, let's jump over from the baby to another weird ass thing that fell out of the sky. That is The Man Who Fell to Earth on Showtime,
but much hotter.
Yeah. Chiwetel Ejiofor can get it.
I mean, if you're not a freak, but.
So, have either of you guys seen the original movie, the David Bowie Man Who Fell to Earth? I feel like, Nick, there's a shot you've seen it.
I know of it, have never actually seen it.
Okay, so I haven't either. But in watching this is not a reboot. This is a sequel.
It is.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why they're referencing, like, Chiwetel Ejiofor is referencing other, like, someone's told him, oh, that's why he has a British accent. Fucking.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes. I get it.
So Bowie's gone.
Right.
But they have recast, God, what's the guy's name? Bill Nye as that character.
Oh, wow. I did not.
Which makes a ton of sense.
Wow, I didn't. I would have made an attempt to actually, if I had thought I knew this was a sequel, I would have made an attempt to actually watch it. I just thought it was a new thing.
Nick, nobody watched this but me?
No, I watched the show. I didn't watch the movie. Oh, I would have watched the movie if I had known it was an actual. I just thought it was a reboot.
No, Bill Nye's character, the weird sort of guy who's got no eyes and who they, who keeps talking to him. That character, that story is David Bowie's character from 30 years ago.
I love, like, you have to really narrow it down with Bill Nighy's roles of, like, well, he's that really weird guy. Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't have eyes. That narrows it down a little bit.
Yeah. So are we talking about the Pokemon movie again? Is it that? No, it's a different one.
It's the one where he's like the obvious bad guy. Man, you're not.
So this opens interestingly because it opens with Chiwetel Ejiofor as this like tech guy giving a TED talk.
Yeah.
And he seems very at home. And then we jump back and he's a weird freak who doesn't know any English and is drinking water out of a hose.
If I could offer my first criticism here, for any writers, please don't wrap your story around a narration device that is a TED Talk. That is fucking excruciating, and I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes me think I'm watching like the Steve Jobs like TED Talk of like, here's why I act like an inhuman person, because I'm not a human. I'm actually a fucking alien.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. Although it does show us sort of, it points the way to where we're going, which I don't know that I wanted them to do. I kind of like the story they're telling, but I found this interesting, but not great, which is kind of how I find almost everything on Showtime.
Yes.
I don't know what you thought of this, Nick.
I thought it hits things that are production notes that I think are holding it back from being an actually good, straight up good idea. In the fact that the TED Talk, like, some producer in a room decided that they didn't have enough faith in the audience for them to just watch this, because there's really not anything significant, like complicated enough going on to justify the TED Talk narration jumping in between. Other than one, they want to show how hot Chiwetel Ejiofor is as a sophisticated British dude immediately, and don't want to wait until Ep 2 to get to where he's their sex symbol or whatever. And because they're not convinced that the audience can follow this honestly pretty simple sci-fi story.
Yeah, this is not complicated.
It's like, oh no, I get it. This is the day the Earth stood still. Only they're trying to help out rather than kill everybody. Like, and you know, like the water thing. Like his planet is obviously water being so readily accessible here is kind of freaking him out. I kind of like the visual stuff on that. But when he literally yells "fuck water," I'm like, okay, yeah,
yes, yeah.
No, I got it from what you were doing before. You didn't have to literally have him yell water a bunch of times at me, but
yeah, I think there's some interesting stuff going on here, like the notion that basically they tried to do this 30 years ago, and the government got hold of the guy and tortured him for information instead of helping him, and now their planet's even more fucked, and he has like 1,000 people left. I think that's really interesting and dark, but they're taking so long to get to, as you say, a pretty straightforward story. And I'm like, okay, I got it. Move on. Like it's taking too long to get to it. That said, all the character work is great. Chiwetel Ejiofor is killing it as this weird dude. And I really like him.
Yeah, him and Naomi Harris should be like, oh man, I wish you were in another project together, because you guys got chemistry to really do something
got
here.
Great chemistry, and she's great. Clark Peters is as good as ever. I always love him. Jimmy Simpson playing the evil government dude. Jimmy Simpson plays a weird, scary dude really, really well.
Oh yeah, typecast.
And then Kate Mulgrew as his ex-boss. I like her. And then Rob Delaney shows up in episode 3 as basically another Rob Delaney character, the smarmy American in England. Nobody here is stretching a lot to get out of their standard roles, but they all play their standard roles well. And I always love to watch Rob Delaney be a smarmy asshole. Like that's a fun thing for me.
I also like casting Naomi Harris as the scientist or whatever that has hit hard times, because it sells better of like a female black scientist of like having to work at a fucking waste plant when her fusion idea didn't go through, rather than like I was like, okay, that sells it more than like Peter Parker still being poor even though he can invent web shooters or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. It's like one of those things where I have a friend who really, really digs this, and I think it is going to hit for some people. For me, it was mostly... Well,
I couldn't point to you directly anything that's significantly wrong with it, other than just it could be half as long as it is. It could pace up, and it could just ditch some of the annoying hand-holding stuff it does for the audience. Of like, just let us figure this out.
I think that's what it is. I think the performances are all good. The premise is solid, and the pacing is weird and slow. And also the tone is weird. Like it can't decide whether it wants to be funny that he's like calling all this stuff out or disturbing. And I'm like, you can't have it both ways. It's another, I mean, this is a Showtime thing. They've always had weird problems with tone and pacing.
Yeah. Well, can we release him to you? No, I have no idea who this strange man is. Okay. Well, there's an extra baby here if you want it, because we'll definitely let that baby go. It might be cursed, but you can have it.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about our last show of the week, which I'm literally bummed that you did not get a chance to watch this, Kyle, and I'm terrified that Nick is not going to have enjoyed this level that I did, but I fucking love Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It is probably, it may be my favorite pilot that I've seen this year. I thought they did a phenomenal job of doing what I wanted Star Trek to do.
Can I ask a question right off the top? Because
Yes.
I saw a promo image. Do they have like the original Enterprise set?
No, it's a new set, but it looks, I mean, they went and recreated what works about the Enterprise.
Because the chair looked really close.
Oh yeah, the chair's perfect.
Didn't they have the Enterprise in that last season of Discovery with Pike?
Yes, yeah, they did.
It feels
Is
like
it the
they're
same
cribbing.
ship, or
They're cribbing off of that for the beginning of this. Like they even mentioned the Discovery ship, and that's like a classified thing that people have to be brought in on as the episode goes out.
I think that's what works. I think that's one of the interesting things about Strange New Worlds, which for those who don't know, this is basically a prequel to the original Star Trek. It's Pike's Enterprise before he gets into an accident and Kirk takes over, which is like it's a 10-year stretch. Like there's plenty of life in this show, but in Discovery they brought in Anson Mount. And he played Pike so well that and Rebecca Romaine playing number one, that people were clamoring for them to give a show, and they did, and they were smart to do so, because this, I think, is the Star Trek that a lot of people have been wanting. But you don't have to watch Discovery, but if you have, there's a little bit of like a through line here, because in Discovery, Pike learned that there were time crystals. It was the thing they needed. And basically, in order to secure this thing they needed to save the world or save the galaxy from this artificial intelligence, he had to lock in his future. He had to choose to lock in this future where he gets just basically living death, like scarred, can't talk, in a wheelchair.
Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah,
he's gonna. Yeah, he's got a decade, and a lot of the people on the crew know about this, or at least Spock does.
But yeah, Spock knows and number one does, but everybody else can't, because what happened is they sent the Discovery off into the far future, and that is deeply classified. Like the existence of the Discovery is classified.
Yeah, they use that as a nice loophole to get out of the General Rule 1 out of it. Like it's like, well, they're doubling down on it. They're gonna call it the Prime Directive. That'll never stick.
Yeah, I love that too. Like it's a little bit of like tying it all in Discovery. I don't think you have to watch Discovery, but if you do, it's like, oh, so that time travel thing, all this thing they did, they caused a problem, and now they have to fix it. And so what's going on is that basically Pike is like, he's trying to find a way out of this future he saw. So he's at his Montana ranch. He's grown a beard. He's basically semi-retired, sleeping with another hot captain. And he basically is like, I'm not sure I'm going back to Starfleet, because maybe if I don't, this future won't come to pass. And then his number one, Una, played by Rebecca Romaine, has gone missing on a first contact mission. And so they call him back to basically run the Enterprise. They're like, look, after this mission, you can retire, but we need you for this. And he was definitely going to go to protect his number one. It was a very smart way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has to go into the field, not sure if he should try to lead when he's facing this like doubt in himself, because he doesn't want to get himself killed. And that's the sort of the central emotional thrust of it. That works really well. But also the main thrust of this main story is this warlike race, this divided planet where there's like two factions. One of them has got warp technology that they're using for like a bomb, essentially it's a nuclear bomb type thing. And they got it by witnessing the Discovery.
Yeah.
So they actually caused it by accident. And so they have to go infiltrate and try to grab...
What the fuck civilization gave these guys warp? How irresponsible... It was us. Oh, well, no one's perfect.
Oh, shit. So they're going to go infiltrate and grab number one and her people out. And then they're not supposed to get involved, but they also kind of want to. And I thought that the notion of, oh, this society is almost fucked and they may blow themselves up, but if they don't, if they're shown this little bit of hope that maybe they'll get to the Star Trek future... I don't know why that resonated with me right now, but it felt like a thing that kind of needed to be said.
No idea why. I kind of like the idea of the Watchmen ending of like, yeah, I guess the reason didn't work. Oh, let's show them I have a big fuck off spaceship and that there's way bigger problems than their little war on this planet. What about the Prime Directive? Fuck the Prime Directive.
Fuck the Prime Directive, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder where Kirk got it. Like, I love that the Prime Directive is a thing that canonically, no matter how far back it's never too far back in the Enterprise, in the Federation's timeline to start going, fuck the Prime Directive.
Yeah. No, because Prime Direct is a great rule, but it's terrible for storytelling.
Oh yeah. Like it's the best rule of like it's something you should follow, but we're definitely not gonna because that would be pretty boring.
I thought that I love the cast. I love the crew. So we've already seen Spock in number 1 and Pike, and they're all great. But like Dr. Mbenga, great. Nurse Chapel, who they gave a specialty of like genetic engineering, which I thought was really fun. And her bit of running the person down in the corridor was just cracking me up. The Uhura gets more development here than I think she did in any of the other Star Trek shows. Like her bit of like quickly picking up on this guy and communicating with him and getting him to a place where they can knock him out and take him back. Like that was really good. I like this entire cast, and I love the new Khan's descendant that they've got. I thought that character was really, really good.
I do like the idea that Uhura is such a nerd for foreign cultures. Like as soon as she knows they're going to a new planet, she immediately goes and checks out what the sports are like on the planet. Like, oh,
yep.
This is kind of like our, tag ball. Oh man, it's just as the guy gets shot in the neck.
Well, it's such a great bit because it also shows her as like she's a communications officer. That's what she's supposed to be, and it's not just pushing the button and activating the radio. It's like she learns how to communicate with people, which I thought was a really cool little bit. Also, production-wise, this thing looks fantastic. Like the uniforms, the different planet, the ship, the Enterprise looks amazing.
Oh yeah,
I was blown away by this. Nick, what did you? I know you're not as big on Star Trek in general as I am. Except unless it's Lower Decks.
I did like it. I probably will not continue with this because I'm not as big of a Star Trek fan as I feel like anyone. I think I like the idea of Star Trek more than I like any of the actual executions, which is probably why I like Lower Decks so much. And I have fond memories of Next Generation, but even when I go back and watch that, I'm like, wow, these are really long and paced way different than modern TV.
Oh, for sure.
And this one did feel like if I was going to make a show that tried to crib from the original series and made it feel like that, this is the episode I would make.
Yeah.
Having to infiltrate a new planet to try and without violating the Prime Directive, knowing full well that we're going to fucking violate that by the time this episode is over. And not only violate it, but like, fuck it. We're going to give double bird salutes to the Prime Directive and just hope we don't get in trouble later. And I'm like, wow, what a Kirk move. I love this guy. Pike's a great captain. Spock's whole thing is like never gets old for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you were going to query of my question of to be with me forever since I love you, but oh my god, Captain, the pain, it's intense. I cannot take it. And then
their Spock is great. He's doing a good job.
He just yells like, that is much better. Oh shit.
Oh, and also I love the fake out fuck you to the Kirk thing. They mentioned Lieutenant Kirk at the top of the show, and then at the end of the show, it's not James Kirk.
No, it's Sam. It's his dad or something.
It's Samuel. No, it's his brother.
Oh, really?
A character who appeared once in the original show on the episode where he died.
Oh,
so yeah, this is a whole it's a deep cut. I have a friend who does a Trek podcast, Tex Trek, and so I talked to him about some of this stuff. And these guys are all the Trek people, even Discovery, for as much people don't yell at them. They are all so into the nerdiness and the Easter eggs of Trek that they are throwing in little things. And if you know Trek well, there's little things of like, oh wait, this place is this at this time. It's like it's nerdier and then deeper than the MCU stuff.
I feel like Star Trek the same way I feel about Star Wars. If I actually like something Star Trek or Star Wars, I feel like it's really doing its job because it's getting fans that aren't just hardcore fans. That if it's getting someone like me, it's really working. Right. And I feel like Strange New Worlds overall it really works.
Yeah. I thought this was a phenomenal pilot, and like I say, maybe one of my favorite things I've watched on TV this year.
I definitely like it more than I like Discovery, I should say. Like, it struck with me way quicker and resonated much more thoroughly than any episode of Discovery.
All right, well, that wraps up our show for the week.
That's right, no dessert. Fuck.
No dessert. There's no Marvel this week. We're 2 weeks out from Obi-Wan Kenobi. Actually, we're like 3 because it's dropping on a Friday.
Oh, is that going to be our dessert? Yay! More sand.
Until June when Miss Marvel starts.
TV
there we
out.
go. Now there's some dessert.
Kyle jumped the line.
Because we're about to lose our call in like 1 minute. Oh no, it's 6 minutes. I literally thought it was 1 minute, so I was like, "Oh, get it in quick."
I was watching it. I'm professional, Kyle. I'm a professional.
Kyle keeping consistent, misreading things this week. Awesome.
It's my character.
Thank you, Les. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you to our patrons. Reminder: you can go to patreon.com/tvdudes. Listen to us talk about Doctor Strange this week. Listen to us talk about Nicolas Cage movies almost every other week. And until next week,
I'd eat some ass.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/tvdudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith.
to find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.